In this movie, we have Dr. Evans, who happens to be he's the domestic workers, Gloria, his maid, and Josh, the chef of the house. This Dr. Evans always goes on long trips or long or outside the country for his jobs or for his meetings, and leaves his workers or his domestic workers at home, not knowing that whenever he leaves his domestic workers home, whenever he leaves domestic workers, they make his house as a lodge or a guest house for people to pay them money, of which Dr. Evans was denying about it. So whenever he could ask them about the situation or what could be happening in the house, they're always saying everything is good. Even when he found a woman underwear in his house, they could not give a proper explanation until this fateful day when Dr. Evans decided to go for a long trip of 6 months. They found this as a advantage to make enough money in his time of not being at home. So they decided to bring a new housemaid since Josh was complaining about too much work, and Gloria was always acting as the big mama, the madam of the house, Madam Gloria. When they brought the housemaid, they brought Madam Agatha, who happens to be as a cleaner in the house or a person who takes care of the house or the guest house. And in this time, you could not even take a picture or a video in this house. Whenever you were trying to, trust me, you could be facing Gloria. So whenever they could bring in the guests, they could offer everything. It's like a guest house. Now the guest house, they offer food, drinks, as well as a place to stay or to lay your heads. So when Madam Agatha, whenever they brought the customers, Madam Agatha was always very hungry about the guests' behavior. So these guests they brought, they were making nasty things, and which are not good at all for the house of their bosses. But Madam Agatha was always minding her own business, despite was always influencing to see that things change. But no, they could not change because Gloria was always on her nerves, was always against her decision as well as Josh. But one day, Agatha asked Josh why she doesn't call Gloria Madam, and Josh said he could tell her the secret. When Dr. Evans calls or make a video call in the house, Gloria was finding a way of lying to her. One day, Gloria fell in love with a certain guest, and he happens to do anything, and for him they made a party in the house, they did everything in the house, and they were always just thinking that they're above everything, until the day Mr. Dr. Evans appeared in the house. This was a very disaster on them because they were not knowing that Agatha was a cousin to Dr. Evans. They didn't know that Agatha was a cousin to Dr. Evans, as well as the guest whom Gloria fell in love with was also a son to Madam Agatha. They felt like things was falling apart, and Gloria was very disappointed. Gloria was also surprised to say this. So catch this movie at UCHENNA TV. It's already running, and it's already running on UCHENNA TV. It's kind of funny because you will laugh, you will smile, but sometimes you have to take a note in the lessons you learn from these movies. One lesson I learned that don't trust your workers 100%, as well as always find a way of inspecting the people you trust with your properties before you leave or you go to anywhere. Yes, the maid might have worked a lot for you or for many years in your house, but doesn't mean that these people, they cannot change. People change, people always change. Because and before you hire anyone in your house, please take a note or always follow up. Dr. Evans was disappointed to have had all of this, or to have known that so many things were running in his house, despite the trust and the love she showed these people. Please go and watch this interesting movie. It's called it's called Madame Gloria. Madame Gloria at UCHENNA. And please kindly subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my channel for more reviews and recaps on this movie. We have a lessons to learn in this movie. What have you learned in this movie? What is your thought about this movie and the housemaid? God bless you. We'll meet in the next new video. Bye bye.